and this man was responsible for brand corporate Europe. So basically, G Capital, all these logos that have kind of, sunk in subconscious. These are all like created man Wally Ollins, created the logo as well. And it turns out his dad was a Freemason.
Nice.
So the chances are that, there's an interview online where he references his dad trying to get him to be a Freemason. He actually says whether he is or not. The chances are it's in the family. And, there's the messages, logos, the man's boost. It's a Freemasonic, company for corporate Europe.
Yeah. Wow.
Essentially.
Really interesting.
So,
sorry, yes, I wanted the name there. Wally Ollins, is that right?
Wally Ollins.
Right,
yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Wallolins.
Perfect, thank you.
Right, and so at this point, you've got this connection to Freemasonry with the logo and stuff, and it moves much higher than Freemasonry. That's just the outside protection stuff. I basically loaded up the Google Earth, wanted to have a look at the London site from the air, see what it is that's so special about this place. And for it so happened, a particular site in Stratford was the only last wasteland was that was left vacant in London. It was the one last place that they could do for something like the Olympics. So it's quite lucky they had it in the first place. And what I noticed was I started looking at the actual street plan of this place, and you go through it. You've got a number of roads that circle the site, and the first road is called the Eastern Route. The East Cross Route, which is a route to the Eastern Cross. The East Cross is a cross, and a modified version of the patriarchal cross. It's got two smaller crosses across the side. The next road down, you've got Carpenter's Road, which encircles the site. Carpenter, who was a carpenter? Good old Joe.
Yeah,
Carpenter, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Next road down, you've got a road called the Greaton Road. And obviously when you refer to it as the Great Eastern, it's like the Great East Star. So you look into the Great Eastern Star. It turns out that the Order of the Eastern Star is the largest fraternal organisation that both men and women join, and it was founded by someone highly to the Freemasons, and their level is the pentagram. So the next road down. Yeah. Moving on around the Olympic site, if visitors were encapsulating the whole Olympic site, the next road along is Angel Lane. So the famous angel is Gabriel. So we've got Angel Lane here. Next road along, we've got Temple Mills Lane. Temple Mills, where the water belongs to the Knights Templar.
Yeah.
So another thing there, the Knights were the fellow soldiers of Christ in the Temple of Solomon. And then encapsulating all of this is Church. It's obviously another big road name. Yeah. So all the way around the Olympic 24 site, which you call Zion, there with the logo, the biblical road name. Surrounding the whole site, there's not one road name that's not biblical. So you start looking at that and you think, what is going on? This site was simply a fluke that they done this. And, we're looking at something that is clearly quite well planned. So, for instance, one road that's called it's called the A12. It's another road name for it. And if I move into, say, for instance, hieroglyphics for a start, hieroglyphics back in the days of ancient Egypt, talismans, and that a particular didn't mean like one letter, like a H. It meant a multitude of emotions. It meant a multitude of meanings, and it basically, it drew in the powers of the stars. That's what a hieroglyph was. It was a direct relation. So, for instance, when they do a direct translation of the Rosetta Stone, you can't translate hieroglyphs into H's and stuff like that.
Sure.
So basically, if you think this idea of talismans, power of the stars embedded in this symbol, if you want to call it that, and then everyone assumed that the English language moved on from that, and that our letters just meant letters, just to spell words out, and that there weren't symbols at all. But the fact is that if you look into the idea, power control in Egypt died out, and they've been endemic to the power structure from the very start. The letters on the English alphabet are just as much glyphs as the hieroglyphs, talismans.
I agree.
So
yeah.
If you look at the letter A, for instance, you've got a pyramid with a stone, a capital letter A. Yeah. And then if you look at an S, you've got a snake. And if you've got a dollar sign, you've got a snake. What could be a kundal, DNA coil, whatever you want to call it. But these letters have got meanings behind them. So this method that cuts through the Olympics 12 site, which is called the East Cross Road, is also known as the A12 Road. There's hundreds of A roads in Britain, and what are the chances that of all the roads that cross through it were an A12 road, a mid-12 road, just coming from with
absolutely, very interesting.
It's history that one road. This is what I'm saying. Coincidences. This is a load of rubbish. That this coincidence. It's not a coincidence whatsoever. No. And then you look into the situation where it's situated in London, and you'll find that it's in two areas. It's separated between Leighton and Leytonstone. And I don't know if you're aware where the line is.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, if you look into this, the Olympic site is bang on where two lane lines cross over. It's on about something that's connected to the energy grid of the world. Like the lifeblood of the earth, if you want to call it that. And
Nice.
interestingly enough, before when they commenced work on the Olympics 2012 site, I got this information off the chap on a message, but he basically said organised a massive rave on the Olympic 2012 site, in which no doubt there's a lot of government-sponsored drugs out there and a lot of energy being given off. And if you think about these energy lines and the rating people have rave sites alongside holding the biggest competitions in the world ever, think about what's happening with all that energy. Where is that going? It's probably being fed into the system where. I think that's. I mean, there's a lot of for instance, as far as UFOs are concerned, stuff like that. If you look into UFO sightings and stuff, a lot of them can be attributed to being near ley lines, and because obviously a UFO isn't necessarily something that's definitely fixed in our particular 3D world. Something that could be obviously of another dimension.
Yeah.
Basically, you've got the street map that's fully cool in a way, and then I decided to pick up the Bible. I don't normally pick the Bible, I'm not that type of person, but basically picked up and went to the book of Mark, and I decided to go to the chapter 11, verse 11, the old 11:11.
Yeah.
We got this passage here. Then Jesus went into Jerusalem and into the temple, looked around at everything. Since it was already late, he was out with his 12 disciples to Bethany. The mention of Jesus entering Jerusalem.
Yeah.
Which obviously Zion, New Jerusalem. It says that since it was went 12 disciples to Bethany, right next to the 2012 down a Roman road is a place called Bethnal Green. Right next to the Olympics 2012 site down a Roman road called Bethnal Green. Bethnal Green, Bethany sounds the same, close, not too far. Yeah. Bethnal Green is 3.3 miles, 33 degrees Mason, everything. 3.3 miles from Charing Cross, the centre of London.
Yeah.
So symbolic and numeral and everything that goes with it.
Of course, and I don't know if with the research of Ellis, he talks that Mary Magdalene might have been Mary of, there's a whole Queen Beth and family of Jesus, if you will.
Yeah, well, I mean, with the whole idea of the Dan bloodline and the Priory of Sion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's I mean, I'll get onto that show, but that's all part of what's intended here. They wanted to seed the public with the idea there's a lost bloodline of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
We're pretty scared. To top it off, but on a funny note, have you heard of EastEnders before?
Come again? Say it again.
EastEnders, the English soap opera.
No, not no.